I treated my video podcast as my primary supplier in my supply chain of success. By building a hub, my video podcast and spokes, today with almost automated social clips for YouTube Shorts, TikTok and Instagram Reels, LinkedIn posts and Pinterest pins, I stopped being a slave to a single social media platform. I started controlling the ecosystem to maintain the division of labor between you and the AI. Provide the strategy and the face, while the tools handle the 24/7, 365 visibility so that you do not burn out. Creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize. If you are a new or an aspiring founder of your small business and have no time to waste or really struggle to do your social media marketing, you will enjoy our Creating Reorganized show. I'm your host, Professor Dr. Soei-Winkels, and now welcome to our show, Creating Reorganized. Dear Creating Reorganizer, welcome back to episode 20. Are you tired of the content treadmill? You know the one where you feel like if you don't post a new dance or carousel on LinkedIn or Instagram every day, your business will simply vanish. You don't want to keep up with the newest algorithm changes on TikTok, etc. So everyone is flocking to Instagram Reels back. But if you are hungry for strategies to market and sell your services and product 24/7, 365 without burnout, you are exactly where you need to be. So in this episode, we're tackling visibility without vanity, okay? And I am everywhere, but it's just my content is everywhere. I don't post it. I let my machines posting it. I created the content, but I'm not hanging out there and getting dragged into some rabbit holes. I don't have time for that. Maybe I'm too much middle-aged, but as a business owner, there are other things that I have to focus as well. So for a small business owner, without a dedicated social media team, being everywhere usually leads to being everywhere for 3 weeks and then disappearing at least from one social media platform because of total burnout. In the world of podcasting, we call this podfade. We all fall into the trap of pointless posting instead of sales activation. And I mean, this is not a hobbyist podcast. This is a business owner's podcast, right? You want to promote your services and products via a business promotional video podcast. So you cannot just fade out. In the previous episode 19, we already talked about how the no-edit editing hack lets you speak to the world in multiple languages. And I'm curious whether you have already tried that out or not. So once you have a brilliant video, now you can post it in different languages. Today, I'm showing you how to build an evergreen multi-social media hub and spoke system. And we already talked about it in a previous episode, but this is more of a deep dive. So just like I do with all my social media activities fueled by my 2 video podcasts, Poster Transformation and Creating Reorganized, you can use your video podcast as the hub, the high value source, and treat social media platforms like LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram with initial effort, but then becomes an auto list or repeat. I honestly only realized that I have to take action when in January, one post said Halloween. And I was like, oh, that is my auto list. And now it's already cycling back and forth until it's already Halloween, but we have January. So maybe I should take this out so that no one notices that, right? But it shows you that I'm just paying attention to commenting. If someone comments, then I will react, but I'm not posting manually. Why? Because it's not the posting that leads traffic back to my sales. It's the reactions, the comments of leads, competitors, or also supporters. So that is where my action is really needed. It's not needed when I post something. So posting is something that I delegate. Are you feeling tired like a slave to the algorithm? Well, we turn your content into an automated long-term asset that works for you according to your vision of life. Let's do Creating Reorganized. Let's be honest, my superpower is STEM. So that's science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Not language And of course, not social media vanity. I have always been a teenager that wasn't really interested where everyone is going. And social media is marketing means for me, which I use as an adult. So I was not a social media native, so to speak. I was raised on the value of hard work and technical excellence. And I became a psychologist and I earned my PhD in neuroscience. And I further developed my professional identity as a IT strategy consultant. So dancing on videos and pointing and talking nonsense is like, no, why should I? But I learned that a good product, a good service is not enough. You need to market that as well. And you need to market that in a way that your leads will enjoy. Trust me, my leads would not enjoy when I would dance for them. But I know that I can teach well. So teaching is my superpower. And in that corporate world of tech and management consulting, we did not care about likes. We cared about IT strategy and return on invest. And that was only possible if the workforce, the ones we trained, were learning what we taught them. See, that's the bridge. I can teach in many means. And that is also social media. So fast forward to early 2020, right before the COVID pandemic hit us all, right? So when I had my first touch points with social media, that was Instagram. And I was already a professor at that time, and I had a respectable reputation. But my university wanted me to promote my gamification approach in my lecture. Okay, so of course, I'm a good soldier, so I'll do that. So I barely managed. I had horizontally footage shot, and then I just send it over to the university social media team or whatever. So they then turned all the footage into a nice video, uploaded that to their university account on Instagram as an IGTV, I think. So I then thought, I don't have an Instagram handle, so I need to at least create an Instagram handle to see how that video performs, and because I don't want to be the worst video for them performing. I was curious. Let's pause quickly to appreciate those who sponsor this valuable episode. Thanking our sponsors for their financial support, we are happy to return to our valuable episode. Then came COVID, and I understood that Instagram is a means to communicate with my students because they don't like LinkedIn. So I thought that if I want to reach my students, I need to go where they are, not where I want them to be. To be honest, initially I found social media, Instagram particularly because that was the only platform that I knew, deeply intimidating. But I wanted to support and encourage my students outside of the online WebEx and later Zoom lectures, like in my lecture breaks in real life, when my students came up to my desk and asked me questions one-on-one. And I was creating all my photo posts manually. And then one of my students nudged me and, probably had mercy, suggested a couple of videos to recreate as short form videos. And I was like, no way I would create cringeworthy videos and, reels and put my reputation as a professor on the line because I'm feeling shameful in front of 50 students who followed me. I mean, they probably like me, but it's like, maybe it's cringe, totally cringe. And I know that behind my back, some of my fellow professor colleagues also made fun of me being active on social media. And today I have more followers beyond my lecture hall in real life, but that was my beginning. Felt really intimidated. And my student helped me by sharing reels that I should copy and recreate, like I said already. But I was literally, because I was so self-conscious and anxious, I was literally scripting word by word, pointing here and counting, like 2-3 seconds later, do this, and then this, and then this. It was just hilarious. It was also fun, and it was a relatable learning journey for my students and me. I mean, they were learning whatever the topic was, and I was learning social media. We were all, so to speak, in the same boat. So across the semesters, I got better and better, And I don't think that I now have to hide, but that was my beginning. And in hindsight, that moment was a friction incident of the highest order. And if incident doesn't ring a bell, I highly suggest that you listen to episode 17, because that is what we have discussed, and it's linked in the show notes. I realized I was applying my IT analyst logic to my IT ecosystems at home, but not to my student outreach. If I want to scale that, I needed to have a system that also honored my time as a mother and as a professor, because, as you know, I prioritize my kids. There are talking points that are always the same at the beginning and at the end, and so on and so forth. So I didn't want to be a broken record, talking to my students who might even lose interest every semester. I needed a training ground, which maybe is not so much in the, spotlight. So I started my TikTok handle to reach a cold audience and experimented different short form styles, chasing trends and repurposed the best ones for Instagram. And trust me, I had a huge learning curve. But again, that was a manual hassle and not sustainable and unrelated, but beneficial on a parallel string of my life. I also discovered audio podcasts for my various learning interests. And then it clicked for me. I wanted to start my video podcast, Postdoc Transformation, to rekindle my career coaching business at graduate schools, and transferred all my social media marketing skills into video podcasting. Ta-da! I always say everything falls into place one day, sooner or later. So from the get-go, and thanks to my IT strategy consulting skills, I took my own medicine and I treated my video podcast as my primary supplier in my supply chain of success. By building a hub, my video podcast hosted on Podbean and Spokes, today with almost automated social clips for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels, LinkedIn posts, and Pinterest pins via Metricool, I stopped being a slave to a single social media platform. I started controlling the ecosystem, and I realized that my accent and my STEM background were actually my superpower, my unAIable signature that automated systems could then distribute for me. All right, you know the drill. Notebooks out, creating Reorganizer. This is where we get into the lecture hall of psychology, and I will teach you why your social media strategy might be failing for you. So to understand why a hub and spoke system builds trust, we have to look at Fritz Heider's balance theory from 1958. So Heider was a giant in social psychology, and he proposed that people seek cognitive consistency. They want a matching feeling in their relationships and perceptions. So he looked at the relationship between three things. Number one, the person. Number two, another person. And number three, an object or idea. So it's a 1, 2, 3 triangle, right? So number one could be your lead, your listener, your viewer. I mean, it's always client first, right? So it's not about you, it's about them first. And then number two is you. You are the business owner who offers a service or a product that solves your client's problems. And then number three is your social media content that helps them understand and want more of your service and product. That is in hindsight. But your social media content attracts them, leads them to your place where you can then offer and serve. So Heider argued that we preferred a balanced state. So if a lead likes you because they heard your deep, empathetic expertise on your video podcast, they have a positive bond. When they then see your content on social media, on LinkedIn, whatever, they expect to like it too. That's their expectation. But now we can have two different outcomes. If that social media content of yours is of high quality, then it's an extension of your bond. The triangle is balanced and stable. But if you use a generic robotic AI to ghostwrite LinkedIn posts or create generic stock image carousels that don't sound like you, or you create AI slop that doesn't help your brand, you create a negative bond between the expert, that is you, and your client, because your content is bad. So it's all tilted to one side. So now your lead is confused and they think, well, I liked her podcast, but this post is generic slop. So this does not match. Okay, so you have the opportunity to fish in different waters, but you should always have the same high quality standards, because otherwise you will have this vanity trap that creates cognitive dissonance. And that's also a psychological theory model by Leon Festinger. Just to keep it simple, in the balance theory of Heider, to resolve this discomfort, the lead will often do one of two things. They will either stop liking the content, bad for you, or they will stop liking you, also bad for you. This is how you lose high-ticket leads through inconsistent branding. So by using the hub and spoke system, we ensure the triangle remains balanced. And the same applies to if you have a viral post that does not align to your brand as well, right? So maybe you have a viral post and you're happy about that. But the thing is that this way you will attract people who are maybe not interested in your core values, in your core value proposition, in your core services and products. So this will water down the triangle because it's not balanced. And you want more viral content, but that wasn't helpful anyway. So by using the hub and spoke system, we ensure the triangle remains balanced, and that is why I have my video podcast as the main driver. I rarely create content outside of that because that will teach the algorithms what I create content about. So they know to whom they should feed my content to reach new audiences. Before going back to our episode, we want to appreciate those who finance this valuable episode for you. Thanking our advertisers for their financial support, we are happy to return to our inspiring episode. Now let's switch gears a little bit. Outside of social media, I also have a website where I host also my show notes. For every episode, I have the full transcript for search optimization so that traditional and AI browsers will find my content and can browse and work through that. And then they also in return recommend humans who are using AI search bars to find my content. So they find also my free resources and links related to my episode show notes on my website. So it's a rich experience so that it's worth for the AI to recommend my page to them. At the top and at the end of each of the show notes, you can see how I promote my paid services or products. All my free resources there have already paid the dues. That's why someone is reading that. So then now I can have this reciprocity principle of also offering my own services. Now, because you are a business owner, I know you are also on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, you can use Underlord by Descript to pull out as many golden quote clips as possible. Okay, so this is your voice. This is your face. And this way, it maintains the balance Heider talked about. The lead sees the same face, maybe aging or, I don't know, across the seasons, and they listen to the same voice they heard on the podcast. If you want to repurpose further, you can also create text-heavy images with your headshot and your closed captions as a block of text so that also attention is needed to read through all the text. That is also something that the algorithms honor, right? So you can repurpose everything based on your video podcast episode. And then on Pinterest, the audience algorithm works different, right? So people who are searching for solutions for their problems, they are not really interested in the person who is offering that. So you have to have a different approach. So you cannot really just repurpose everything to Pinterest as well. But you can create an evergreen pin that leads directly to your show notes link. And that it reinforces that you are a reliable, consistent source of information. So then you have Instagram, and it's again a different kind of social media platform. You can share a behind the scenes story to humanize the expertise that you have. You can document how you have gone about start offering this, creating this, whatever. So when your leads see the same human signal consistently across platforms, the same quality, this leads, business owner, and content triangle stays balanced. Your leads will develop a parasocial bond that feels reliable. And if parasocial bonding is new to you, please also listen to episode 18 as linked in the show. Okay, so in 26, the hub and spoke system isn't just about reach, okay? It's about cognitive ease. So by seeing your face, the costly signal in a spoke on LinkedIn or whatever, and then clicking through to your hub on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Listen Notes, iHeart, Pocket Cast, the lead's brain confirms, yes, this person is the real deal. And this is how you avoid the vanity of likes and focus on the trust shortcuts that leads to sales. When AI searches my content, they also surface or link back to LinkedIn content. And it's not the most likes or whatever that is attracting them, but more or less it fits content-wise. So this is the reason why likes aren't that important, but it's more the engagement or the on topic, on brand. So taken together, this is how you avoid the vanity of likes and focus on the trust shortcut that leads to sales. You are consistently delivering the same message in different ways, but always at a high quality level with ease, because you have been strategically building a hub. Also, all these costly signals on podcast players help generative AI to find your shows and to recommend suitable episodes to the person searching for relevant content. Everyone can be on YouTube, but have a real podcast is an indicator that you are more professional, and that's what you want to achieve as a business brand, right? So let's get practical. I am putting my own data on the line. I've been testing our hub and spoke system using Metricool to see if people actually follow the path from the spoke back to the hub. So I love experiments. Having Metricool data means that I can play around. For this episode, I'm testing a specific experiment, the multi-platform resonance test. I've taken a 60-second spoke from my German to English dub experiment. We talked about it last week. And I'm scheduling via Metricool to hit LinkedIn, Instagram Reels, and Pinterest simultaneously. Okay, so for hub creation, I recorded this one episode. That was an introduction to my psychology student on a specific topic. That is my source of truth, the masterpiece. Okay, so then I have the spoke extraction. So I use Descript's social clips feature. Underlord finds the most engaging seconds. We can dub it. Then the automated spoke, I upload that clip to Metricool. I don't just post it, I reschedule it to repeat every Monday or every month or whatever, right? At that time, whatever. This is evergreen visibility. And if that list is long enough, is more than 3 months content, then I do click on repeat, and then it's on autopilot. And then we have the sales activation. So every spoke has a call to action, and it might be download this, go to here, whatever, or take my business readiness quiz via TypeForm. And then I'm looking at the return on investment. So in my season 2 Podbean data, I saw that episodes focused on return on investment and burnout performed the best. That is your main interest. So for example, episode 15 on marketing burnout. So that means you want more efficiency in your systems. And this is what I teach. So my experiment here is to see if the spoke on Pinterest, which is a search engine, outperforms the spoke on LinkedIn in over 30 days. And I cannot tell you the results now, but I will share them as soon as I have them. LinkedIn definitely is more of a flow platform. So it's here and then gone. And then you have to actively feed the beast, right? But instead, Pinterest is more of a stock platform. So the shelf life of a video or a content that you post there is much longer, more months than days. I'm excited, but I still want to share my strategic warning with you. While this automation is powerful, you also have to be careful. So as a STEM professional, I also see the risks. If you automate your spokes but never check your hub, you will lose the human touch. And maybe your marketing is perfect, but it's a business model that has died because you haven't attended to that. you are attracting, but no one is buying because of the bad business model, right? And that happened to me. My marketing had become better than my original business model. So you always have to be the human in the lead. All right. So if you also want your marketing and sales to not become a vanity project, you need the right tools. So here's Podbean, for example. That is your hub. It is the warehouse for your high value video and audio assets and quietly distributes them to every major video and audio podcast player. And then you have Descript, and that is your factory, your production house. You can use Underlord to turn every long-form video into many high-performance clips. So it makes it even easier to create short-form videos and highlight reels and whatever. And then you can have Metricool, obviously my game changer. I don't want to miss that either. So that's my command center. It schedules your content across multiple professional social media platforms so you aren't posting at 11 p.m. And of course, you need a fulfillment center. If you have a service like an e-course, you need to have something like Thinkific. So when these posts drive traffic to your services and they want to learn more from you, you can deliver a high-value membership or an e-course as a paid offer. Obviously, that does not apply if you have a product to sell. And then you can have your tandem of TypeForm and ActiveCampaign. So that is your automated, quiet sales team in the back. So TypeForm qualifies the lead from the spoke, and ActiveCampaign nurtures them back to the hub. So this tech stack allows you to maintain the division of labor between you and the AI. You provide the strategy and the face, while the tools handle the 24/7, 365 visibility so that you do not burn out. And if you're thinking, Eleanor, amazing, but I don't have time to build this strategic and technical command center. And that is why I have launched the Creating Reorganized podcasting service. We don't just edit your video. We build your hub and spoke ecosystem strategically. We handle the Descript extraction, the Metricool scheduling, and the TypeForm lead generation. We build the engine so that you can focus on your zone of genius. You can just create the content, and we will package everything up and schedule it out so that you can build your business in whatever way you want, so that you can live according to your vision of life. I know what I'm talking about. And because I prioritize my kids and my professorship, I only take a few exclusive clients each season. Check out the link in the show notes to apply for our premium white label service. And here's your actionable prompt. Take a 60-second video, post it to LinkedIn and Pinterest today. And don't worry about being perfect. Just see which platform gives you a ping first, right? So if you are a business owner, I bet you will have the bigger resonance also on LinkedIn, just like me. But Pinterest is a search engine, so do not dismiss that. So if you're nervous, join my Creating Reorganized newsletter and tell me all about it. I'm here to help you cut through the AI slop with your real personality. That's me as a psychologist and IT strategist. So thank you for joining me. Remember, visibility is an asset, vanity is a distraction. And check out my episode 13 for more on your supply chain of success and episode 15 on avoiding marketing burnout. All affiliate links are in the show notes. And using them supports me and my show while I live according to my vision of life so that you can do the same. I'm your host, Professor Dr. Eleanor Soei-Winkels, and I'll see you in episode 21, which is going to be about developing new business offers based on data. Do you want to start your own side business as a runway for your better future? Then you will benefit from our free business readiness quiz as linked in the show notes. Let me teach you Creating Reorganized. If you're ready to dive in and start your own podcasting journey, I highly recommend checking out the tools I mentioned earlier: Podbean, Descript, TypeForm, ActiveCampaign, Thinkific, and Metricool. Each of these services has made my podcasting business experience smoother and more efficient, and I trust that they can help you too. Thank you for listening to our Creating Reorganized show. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, share it with your business friends, and leave a review on your favorite podcast player. Your feedback helps me as a small business owner to serve more small business owners for free, so thank you. I'm your host, Professor Dr. Eleanor Soei-Winkels, and now I wish you a happy Creating Reorganized according to your vision of life.